Welcome to Plast-aid. In this video I'm going to make a marble in about 10 minutes to show the curing stages of Plast-aid and the timeline of how Plast-aid thickens as it cures. This video is particularly useful to understand Plast-aid's unique curing process, which allows Plast-aid to be used in thousands of applications. Upon mixing Plast-aid powder and liquid, Plast-aid transforms from a castable liquid to a glue to a putty to clay, and finally to a hard, durable, waterproof plastic. This smooth transition makes Plast-aid an incredibly unique and versatile tool, allowing it to be used to cast into molds and to repair breaks and fill gaps, formed into shapes for custom parts, and much more. Here we've mixed Plast-aid in a ratio of approximately 1 part liquid to 2 parts powder. The actual ratio is not critically important as long as you first start so it's liquidy and drippy. In this case, we'll call this a castable stage, whereby it's liquidy enough where you can pour it into a mold or in some sort of cavity. It's useful in identifying these different stages with the mix cup and the stick to simply dip the mixed stick into the material and pull it up and watch how well it drips off the stick. Here we're at about 1.5 minutes or so, and we'll recognize that just in this short period of time it's beginning to thicken. It's still in a castable state and moving into sort of a glue. It's important when gluing plastics of a compatible material with Plast-aid that that you put it on very liquidy so that the liquid component can chemically etch into the surface of the material. As it continues to thicken, we'll see it goes from that castable stage in sort of a glue. This is kind of here at about a little after 2 minutes. It's beginning to get very smooth and creamy, much like a wood glue, and it's got some body to it. One of the videos that we have where I show fixing a kitchen drawer that was made out of a fiberboard material, this is a good time to put in like a wood glue, where it gets into the nooks and crannies of all the materials and a dissimilar material and bonds it together. Here at 3 minutes, approximately 3 minutes, again take a look how it's thickening and dripping off the mix stick. Soon, let's say, it will get past the glue stage and into sort of a putty that can be used for filling in gaps and cracks of materials. As we sit here and wait for it to cure, I want to point out that we've got several videos that show these different stages: casting knobs, gluing drawers, and different plastic parts. Here, as we're approaching 4 minutes, we'll get to a stage that I kind of commonly refer to as a toothpaste stage, where it's not so drippy anymore, but it's still kind of wet. This is a good time to add to a previously coated part. If you're going to help reinforce the part, you can add this toothpaste stage of Plast-aid to build up layers to give it strength. As we're approaching 5 minutes, we're looking to get it to the point where we can scoop it out of the cup and pick it up in our hands and roll it into a marble. this will take about 10 minutes from start to finish. We'll pick it up here at about 5 and see how it's doing. Okay, this is kind of a state where it's sort of spreadable, like peanut butter. It can be used again to fill cracks and holes, kind of used as a spackle. It's no longer wet and drippy. Here, touching it with my finger, you can see where occasionally it'll stick, but it's not nearly like it was in the earlier stage. See how the simple test of picking it up with the mix stick and seeing how it will slip off the mix stick gives you an idea of how the stages go from wet and drippy and all the way up to where now we're pulling it up off of the stick. Clean out the cup, add the little bit to the material. About 6.5 minutes or so. Now we're into a putty state, or perhaps a clay state where we can form it into a shape. You see there's a little stickiness to it, but very, very smooth and easy to form. I'm kind of playing with it a little bit, seeing how close it is to be able to roll it into a marble. There's odd shapes. If you get a chance to use Plast-aid, one thing you'll notice, like in this case, it is very smooth, and when you wrap it up on itself, it'll blend together. Okay, here we are, approximately 7.5 minutes, shaping it into rolling it into a ball. Let's see if it'll hold its shape. I'm just pushing it into kind of a square, and now rolling it. This is an important video from the standpoint of understanding Plast-aid. We've got several videos, but what this helps you understand is that Plast-aid can be used in the different stages of its cure depending upon what your application is. For instance, at this stage, you would not use this as a glue. Many kinds of epoxy putties and such, often you'll roll it into a rope and pack it on. And I've seen Plast-aid used in this case with the intention of being able to be used as a glue. But in this case, it's too late for that. It's not going to stick very well. It's important to have the wet component of Plast-aid be present in order for it to stick. Plast-aid has, we supply Plast-aid with a mixed cup and a stick, and in this case we'll clean off the stick and we'll be able to pop the remaining material out of the mixed cup at a later time when it's hard and cured. Turns out that the mixed cup is made out of a plastic that Plast-aid doesn't stick to, and so if you let it cure to the extent that it's hard, it'll just pop right out. Okay, here we are after 9 minutes, have rolled it into a ball, and this is what we're after, is to get it to the place where it is no longer soft, pinching it a little bit to see if there's any flexibility to it or clay-like, and now rolling it into a ball as we approach 10 minutes. Okay, here after 10 minutes, we've got what we want. We're just waiting for it to harden. Okay, 10.5 minutes. It's hard enough to where it will, you no longer shape it, other than if we wanted to machine it at a later time or polish it or sand it, we could do that. But here, it's now complete at just approaching 11 minutes. Thanks.